Hello, this is Eric McLuhan. I'm the Director of Instruction at the Applecross Golf Academy, and I'm having a little fun here on the Bosu ball. We're going to talk to you a little bit about proper balance during the swing, and I'm going to show you a 5-day progression of a member who was kind enough to allow us to document a progression of 5 days for a project that I was doing for the Philadelphia Section PGA. And this is Todd Darlington. I'll let his swing run. That was the original one. Let's do a little slower. And this was on Wednesday. And you can see how the hips tend to slide going back. The arms outrace the body, and you can see that the club actually touches his shoulder. So we have a few things to work on, and it's actually going to start with the grip. You see how the right thumb is right down the shaft at 12 o'clock. That's a very difficult position for your right hand to set properly, and the club is a little too much in the palm of his left. But later that day, I introduced some things that we were going to be working on. We're working on with the orange peel here, which is a tremendous tool that I like to use to keep people centered. And if you look at that original swing, in fact, let me put a line up. So he's got to try to stay along the edge of that. And you see how he goes beyond. And if you see the difference, the one on the left is where we're going to try to get to in a few days. All right, so I had the orange peel. I had a swing guide on his arm, so he wouldn't think about where his wrists, the plane that he was swinging the club on. And I didn't want him to worry about impact and hitting golf balls, so I put the orange whip in his hand. And you'll see, how these things really came together as we went forward. I then introduced, a little lag. I showed him this is where we were going to get to. And I had him with his new setup, and then I put a chair there. And as you can see how he's going to have to use his legs, and this keeps the chair keeps the club head back. It's a great drill to show, where you need to be. It gets you in a much better, much stronger position at impact. And if you look at this, the two impact positions. You can see how his wrist action is totally released here prematurely before the impact, and over to the right, because of the chair, he has much greater lag coming into the ball where the club head lags behind the hands. So it's going to be a much more authoritative blow on the golf ball. And so basically day one, I'm just showing him the drills that we're going to be doing over the time period. So day two, we got to work. You've got the orange peel. You see I changed his grip a little bit. Got the club a little more in the fingers. His right thumb's more at 11, so his wrist will set properly. You see the difference? I'm just having to keep reminding him, because I know how important it is. Let's see. This was day 3. I had to bring out the heavy artillery, the Bosu ball, trying to really get his body to be more centered, because he was still fighting it a little bit like everybody would. But you can see how the grip is really coming together here. You got the right thumb at 11 o'clock, and then he's making a much more centered turn. And you can see that's where the club should go to, if you compare it to the original. I mean, he's doing a fantastic job here. This is very awkward trying to do these drills, you know, but as the days go on, you just get better and better at it. All right, so here is a swing on day 3. His turn is so much better, so much better. But you can still see he's got a little bit of the old, because the arms keep going, because he's just used to it. But if you look at his body turn going back, the pivot is so much more powerful. He's got a lot more pressure in his right thigh. He's got a lot better wind up, and his hips are so much more centered. But because of the length, you'll see he still hangs back some. But it is absolutely better than it was. But we need to keep going. So here we go. All right, day 4, just doing the drills. The same drills we've identified. Grip looks great. I mean, that's so much better when you look at this position here. You know, it's a totally different person here. So now we're just combining drills. You know, I got the swing guide and the Bosu ball. So this is day 5. Great looking grip. So this is what we came up with. Huge improvement. Took a lot of work on Todd's part. From the grip, the heel pad here of the left hand is more on top. It's more in the fingers of the right hand. You can see the turn is better going back. Not, you know, the big hip slide, and the length is really changing. The impact position is so different, and the follow through, well, that goes without saying. There's a huge change. The ball flight has come down. The contact is better. The initial 7 irons that were going, you know, 118, 120 are now going 140 to 150. So it's a big difference in you know, just a short period of time. So I hope that helps all of you. Gives you an idea of some of the things we work on in the Learning Center here. And if you have any questions or any problems, give us a call. We can get you all going like Todd. We're real proud of him, and I hope that he has a great season, and I hope that you all have one too.